Work with the people that are doing it. Don't work with the whiners and complainers. Don't work with the ones that are acting like they're doing it, or maybe they suffer from analysis paralysis. You don't have that kind of time. Now, I know a lot of people try to help, but let me share something with you. If you're going to become super successful and make a lot of money long-distance sponsoring, then what you're going to do is you're going to focus on numbers. You're going to focus on the people that come to you. The cream will rise to the top. It happens every single time. All you have to do is provide the cream. All you have to do is provide the cup and let it rise to the top. So work with the willing. Work where one of the biggest statements I ever learned a long time ago was go where you're not needed. That's something that's vital to your success. Go where the heat is. Go where the action is. Get around that. Help people build that. That's where you're going to spend 20% of your time doing that. And the rest of the time, you're going to be on new business development. You're going to be bringing people over to presentations. You're going to be going to meet them for coffee. Maybe you're sending them on the internet. Maybe you sit down with them. Well, I don't care what you 2-on-1s, 1-on-1s, 3-on-1s, whatever. A presentation in an office or a hotel somewhere, whatever it might be. You want to make sure that you are absolutely working with the people that want to work, and that's key to success in anything. And then the last area that we'll talk a little bit more on, towards the end as we talk kind of openly a little bit here, is your attitude. Your attitude's vital to your success, and I think we've kind of hit that quite a bit on the personal development side, Mike. So let me turn it back over to you.
Absolutely. And the sorting process, again, I just want to remind everybody that you never really know as you follow up and you follow through what's going to happen with the prospect. And, here's a story I want to share with you. I can remember many years ago, I talked to a prospect immediately. Immediately responded, called him back. He was in Sacramento, California. He was fired up about what we did and how we did things. And I almost thought that he was going to join immediately after I spoke with him the first time. But what's amazing is we set up an appointment, like Michael was talking about before. We set up an appointment to speak a couple days later. Now, I called him exactly. In fact, I think I was on Vince Lombardi time. I was 10 minutes early. I called him up, and and I'm all excited, and I get a voicemail. And, of course, I'm like, okay, maybe he's late. Maybe he's out, got stuck in traffic. I didn't really know. So I called him back a couple hours later. Still got his voicemail. I left him another message. The next day, I did the same thing. I think it was borderline harassment because I was so confused in that entire sorting process, that follow-up and follow-through. I cannot believe, to this day, how I felt that night. That was the first time it ever really affected me emotionally, that this person was not anywhere to be found. It's like they joined the witness protection program, and I was so mentally frustrated that it ruined my entire week. Here's the bottom line, folks. About 2 weeks later, I got so frustrated. That's exactly how long I let this thing bother me. I went down to my local post office. I took a scrap piece of paper. I wrote a little note on that paper. It was nothing fancy. In fact, my handwriting was pretty poor. I said, look, now that I have your attention again, please give me a call. And I overnighted this handwritten letter to him. The moment he received it, he called me and said, Mike, I cannot believe you overnighted a handwritten letter to me. He says, what's wrong with you? And of course, we're laughing about it. And I said, well, to be honest with you, I remember his name was Antonio. I said, you're so excited about this business, and, I don't know what happened to you. You know what? He had a family situation out of state. He had to get out of state like an emergency. Him and his wife took off, and they came back a couple weeks later, and he says, yeah, I'm here. I'm ready to go. The point to my story, folks, is very simple. Follow up, follow through the sorting process. Here's number one I want you to write down. We got to be creative. The internet is a tremendous tool today. It's an incredible tool. The websites, the autoresponders, it's an incredible asset for your business. Do not abuse the internet. Here's what I mean by that. We've got to get personal. We've got to interact. Your prospects want to know you're real. They want to see you. They want to feel you. And that's what Michael talked about, the three-way process. And in the exposure process, we have to make sure we hit home with that. But be creative. Number two, in the follow-up, follow-through process, be persistent. It may take you 12 months. It may be 24 months, but you just never know the person that's going to join your business, what difference they can make in your lifestyle. You just never know. It's kind of like in the philosophy I like to use is taking a deck of cards. You shuffle up a deck of cards. There's 52 cards. There's 4 aces in a deck. Now, we all are looking for aces. And let me tell you something. You find 4 aces, you are set for life in this industry. You find 2 or 3. But here's the bottom line. Take that deck of cards, shuffle them up real good, and start flipping the cards. And every time you flip, I want you to count. And when you finally land an ace, I want you to write that number down. Is it 12? Is it number 15? Write the number down and start flipping again. Count the cards. When you get to ace number 2, write that number down again. And once you do that, you can go to 4 aces. I want you to put that aside, reshuffle, and do it again. Then I want you to put that aside, reshuffle, and do it again. You know what's amazing? No number will be the same. And if it is, that's pretty pretty incredible.